These videos are made for the purpose of entertainment. These are not made to give you an excuse to harass the original creator. I do not condone the harassment or bullying of the creators featured in these videos.
We're finally here. The episode where Esther showed just how racist or ignorant she really is. I honestly cannot tell if she's racist or ignorant. I think there's a good 50-50 chance of either being the case. Welcome to episode 4 of Eternal Powers, Royal Events, previously titled Country of the Rich. Why did the title change, you may be asking? Well, that's because the original episode 4 was deleted, redone, and re-uploaded after massive amounts of backlash for the content of the original episode. Sadly, I did not save the original episode for it, but I did get some screenshots of the original episode's description and 2 frames from the original episode. So let me read to you the original description of the episode, and just from the description alone, you'll understand why Esther got so much backlash for this episode. Episode 4, Country of the Rich. When they read an article at school, Ricky didn't like meeting G's to marry the rich Sultan's daughter. They set off towards the G's. Marcus is the only G who doesn't have love. The young people help Marcus to have love. The Sultan is waiting for Helena to go and get married. The bossies sleep in a row. Flame took Sultan's heart, then Lenodix's monster, and finally Marcus saved the Sultan. The Sultan decided to marry Marcus. We are going to ignore the bad grammar, but I'm sure you all understand now why the original episode was removed. And for those of you who don't know, this word on screen, the one that I censored while reading this, is a racial slur for Romani people. So not only was the original description just littered with slurs for a group of people, so was the episode. And one of our main characters, Ricky, constantly talked about how he hated Romani people, but replaced the word Romani with the slur. It was really bad. Not to mention the Sultan selling his daughter. This episode was truly the peak of racist stereotypes. Just wait till you see how she drew the Romani citizens we saw in the episode. It was a fucking yikes. In reaction to being called out and asked why the episode was so clearly racist, she got really mad and made a few angry posts, all of which are gone. I only have this screenshot saved from Esther's Tumblr account. And eventually she deleted all those posts and posted a video which another user, who I will call Angry Annan, managed to save. Dear subscribers, I decided to delete it from the previous episode because of the violence. I was told that it was racist and disgusting. I am very sorry for following the mistake. I am making a new episode 4. The title of the episode is Royal Events. King and Princess are visiting the city. I am trying to be positive. I will put it on an episode and it will never happen again. Can you forgive me, and I hope I get better. Spoiler, it did happen again. Not nearly as bad, but it did happen again. The new version of episode 4 is basically the same as the old version. The plot is the same. The only things that were changed were character designs, so they were no longer people of color. Instead, I'm pretty sure they're all British. Which the characters being people of color wasn't the problem. The problem was the slurs and the harmful racist stereotypes. It feels like Esther can't see people of color or ethnic people outside of their racist stereotypes. Every single character that's not white is a racist stereotype. Even our main characters are racist stereotypes. Now, with that little bit of backstory out of the way, let's get into episode 4 of Eternal Powers. So we start this episode off with 2 random girls looking at a poster, talking, I think excitedly, about the fact that a sultan and his daughter are coming to the US. I think Esther forgot to switch out the dialogue for these girls because I don't think anyone else says sultan. Because he's not a sultan anymore, he's a king. But we get to see the poster up close now, and it reads, Princess Helena and King Ferdinand. For sale, the princess gets married. I actually have a screenshot of what the original version of this poster looked like. And allow me to read to you this version's text as well. Helena Halen. Al Arzbam Halen. For sale, the Arabic girl get married. She didn't change the princess's name at all, but this was the first red flag when I was first watching this episode. I remember pausing the video, reading the text out loud to the VC I was watching this with, and all of us collectively losing our minds. We unpaused, watched a bit further, and had to pause again because of how fucking flabbergasted we were. And it was just downhill from here. I get the feeling Esther based this episode off of Aladdin originally. A sultan trying to marry off his daughter, and a peasant man ends up marrying her. There's a genie. The monster of the day was a fucking genie. I don't have screenshots, sadly, but it was an evil genie. And I fucking hollered when that genie showed up on screen. Had me all sorts of fucked up. It was so bad. But it's just giving knockoff Aladdin. Which wouldn't surprise me. Esther is a big Disney fan. So much so that she has tried to start her own fanime studio type thing called Fanisney. That's a whole other conversation we will have later. But it's weird that she used the G slur for the characters because they're not Romani, they're Arabic. And I'm pretty sure that slur isn't also used for Arabian people. I think she was just confused. Still not cool to be using the slur in the first place. Like, damn, have some decorum. Anyways, Rick says something, I think, about how the king can't come to the US and make his daughter marry someone. I don't know, but then Sophie follows up by telling Ricky not to be jealous and how all kingdoms should get married at 16 years old, which, ew, no, unless it's to another 16 or 17-year-old, no.
This is a ready excuse. It cannot happen here in the USA.
Ricky, don't be jealous. They don't do that here in the US. All kingdoms should get married at 16. They were even on the plane yesterday.
They can rule there in England since the 15th century. Moreover, poor people buy bread.
Oh, the original version of the next thing Ricky says made me pause the video again and scream, "What?" And the VC went wild. So in this version he says they can rule there in England since the 15th century more over people buy bread. Doesn't make any sense, but that's what he says. But in the original audio, he says something along the lines of, they can stay there in Arabia. I really hate G slurs. With the weird bread line at the end. It was wild just hearing a main character casually throwing out slurs like that. Ricky is just racist and stays just as racist throughout the whole series. The whole time throughout the original episode 4, he just mentioned time and time again about how he hated Romani people because they were poor and dirty, but replaced Romani with the slur. It was actually insane. And I'm glad Esther listened to the backlash she got and changed the episode, but I do not believe she understands what she did wrong and why the original version of the episode was bad. The reason I think this is because there are more horrifically racist stereotypes in later episodes, and because of her original responses to the backlash and a conversation I had with her on DeviantArt. So we're gonna go over those real quick. So when the episode came out, I watched it and left a comment afterwards on my personal account. Yikes, I was going to watch this series all the way through because I love supporting passion projects and independent creators. But not after this episode. The blatant racism is disgusting and you should be ashamed for writing something so gross. And Eternal Powers replied to me with, It is not appropriate for a self-organization to write rudely. I am the host cannot write rudely. It's called abuse. Thank you very much for replying to him. If you are good to me, I will gladly subscribe to your channel, but episode 2 is the funny episode. I lied. Obviously, I was going to keep watching the series. I was just going to dislike every episode from then on out and download them to watch them instead. And of course, make a series of scathing videos talking shit, and eventually redesigning the characters and rewriting the plot, cause I be that way. But her response to me made me fucking froggy blink, and I had to take a minute to load. I am the host cannot write rudely, it's called abuse. Meanwhile, she has one of the characters say and do some of the rudest shit possible, calling people slurs. I know not a lot of people know that that word is a slur, but it takes a fucking Google search. Like, literally just Google, is G a slur? You have to type in the whole slur, obviously, but when you do that, the first thing that should pop up is a state.gov link defining anti-Roma racism. I'll leave a link in the description, but even past that link, there's just pages of, yes, this is a slur. Way later, I don't know how much time had passed, I was doing some research and snooping through Esther's pages, because I do that occasionally, and I made the mistake of visiting the Eternal Powers group on DeviantArt, and she saw that I visited the page, and she sent me 4 notes in a row. One of them was just copy-pasted from a previous note. So she sent me those notes, basically pestering me to tell her my favorite episode, character, and scene of Eternal Powers. Oh, and she also said she loved me? It was weird. It was annoying, but I sent her a long-ass note in reply, basically saying, you need to work on writing because right now you've got some fucked shit in your series, and it's not cute. But nicer. And she sent this in reply. Thanks, I don't spam. I can't be racist because I'm below the percentage for disability/autism. I'm disappointed. I am white-skinned Hungarian. The truth is, I love all people of color, but actually you are absolutely right about this. This is not Walt Disney character. Disney accepted people of color, for example, Mulan, Jasmine, Tiana, Pocahontas, Moana, Witch, etc. Anime only accepts white. Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, Tokyo Mew Mew, all white. Once again, I'm sorry I followed my mistake from last year. I'm not hurting anyone. That's the truth. I always like to draw sets to my childhood, and I can draw beautifully. I need to improve a lot to be better. I'm going to therapy. Now I am 33 years old. I have autism/disorder, and I'm even religious. But thanks for the help. Which, wow, that's a lot to unpack. But the point is, she clearly doesn't understand what is racist and what is not. Hell, she said anime has only white people in it, and Disney isn't racist. Need I remind everyone of the older Disney cartoons and the original version of Fantasia? I should fucking redesign those characters. Is that a good idea? Should I redesign the Black Centaurs from that segment in Fantasia, or is that a bad idea? Back on topic. And because she doesn't clearly understand what is racist and what is not, I think she should have somebody else writing her stories for her. Like, she gives them the base ideas for the episode and how she wants things to go, and that other person can work out everything she wants in a coherent and not racist manner. She could still do all the art, still use the bots for voice acting, just have someone else help her with the actual writing portion so it 1, makes sense, and 2, is not racist. Hell, I'd do it if I had the time, or if I got paid. I'm really fucking good at rewriting things while keeping it as close to the original as possible. Does anyone remember my rewrite I did of Ebony Darkness Dimensional Ravenway? You cannot tell me I didn't do a damn good job of keeping her the same, but making her character actually make sense. I got a bit off track. Where were we? Oh, right. God, I've barely made it past a minute. So the scene continues on with the characters telling us where exactly the king and his daughter are going to be. And I guess they're staying at a castle, which is next to the school. Character dialogue continues to not make any sense, as per usual. We quickly cut to, you guessed it, Queen Shira's castle, where we see today's victim, and it's King Ferdinand. And Flame is the one tasked to get the heart. And when Flame asks where the king is going to be, Queen Shira says, next to the museum, next to the castle. I forgot how much of a headache trying to understand these characters was. So after Flame twinkles away, we cut to a new area, and I also happen to have the original screenshot for this scene. So this is what it looks like now, and this is what it looked like before Esther redid the episode. How we feeling, folks? Not good, I assume. Yeah, this was another scene that had me and the VC losing our shit. And when we unpaused again and it cut to the main characters, Ricky opens his goddamn mouth and says something racist again. The original version of this episode wasn't fun, guys. It was fucking insane. I really wish I had it saved. I feel the need to torture myself with the original version of this episode again. Also, I have no idea why the main characters traveled all the way to, in this case, England. There was no real reason for them to do so. They only really travel here to grab what's going to be the princess's husband and then get back to America. My best guess is that they didn't want the Princess of England to marry an American, so they went and got someone from England to try and get him to be the one to marry the princess? Which I want you guys to imagine that plot, but with the original cast of Arabian people. Do we feel gross and icky at the implications that has? 'Cause I sure do. Anyways, Greg says something about the kids getting greasy bread, and I have no idea what that's supposed to fucking mean, but okay, the kids get greasy bread. So they, I assume, start walking through town, and this lady comes up to them like, my son is making bread. If you're hungry, come have some bread. And they explain to her that they got this flyer at school talking about the king and princess inviting them to come watch the king attempt to sell his daughter? I don't know, I'm just making guesses. So they talk to this woman's son and have this weird-ass conversation. I don't know what's happening. I'm completely confused.
They hold a kingdom event and even get free bread. In fact, many more people come here.
Ricky, the kids get greasy bread. They're a work in progress.
Hello, my son is baking bread. If you are hungry, come.
Thank you. We got an article at school. Here is a king and his daughter will be next to the castle, in the museum.
I think it's a good idea. We'd love to see it.
Hello, the fresh bread is here. Eat it if it's good.
Thank you later. We got news at school that there is a kingdom event at our place.
And how many people line up for Princess?
That's great. I'll check it out.
Your mother knows you make bread. I'd be happy to take you in for baking.
Sophie, we don't have time for that. Let's see now.
All right, I'll go with you then.
Next to the museum, the princess is being sold.
His name is King Ferdinand. They came here from London. He has ruled for 40 years. The princess is about to get married. If he finds her, the king will retire. The princess will become the queen.
There are already 20,000 people in line.
You're right. Then I'll look at the princess.
We cut to the city and we get to see the king and princess in full for the first time, sitting on some thrones surrounded by people clapping. And this dude in the crowd says some nonsense, and so does some lady, and then Ricky says the same thing the random dude did. What is going on?
The king looks opposite the humans. That's why the princess is called beautiful.
He is beautiful and full of pearls. His eyes are bright.
King looks opposite the humans. That's why the princess is called beautiful.
Ricky starts literally drooling over how pretty the princess is, and everyone just starts talking about how beautiful the princess is. Like, okay, we get it, she's pretty, can we stop? We get to hear the princess talk, and she just mentions how there are so many people in line, and people start coming up onto stage one by one to present themselves. We only get to see one dude before Flame shows up and steals the king's heart, and we get the long ass transformation sequence. Also, this side view of May is awful. Her face is so flat. I wouldn't care if it wasn't for Esther's super obvious racist tendencies with her character designs and writing. Like, bro, come on. Vanessa's side profile isn't that great either.
Dad, there are many people standing in line for us today.
I know. The event is just like that. Even more people can wait.
Here I am.
What do you want from me?
They asked for a bread for lunch.
Thank you, sir. I'm not hungry.
Well then, I'll go somewhere else.
He is a blonde baron offering us bread.
I can smell it now. I'll bring the food.
I found you, King.
Who are you? And what are you looking for in my exhibition?
My name is Flame. I came because I knew you were rich. I'm looking for a crystal heart. I'll take it from you.
My heart? No.
Your daughter will marry in vain, but you will sleep. This is not the crystal heart either. This is a fake heart I found.
Dad, no. They stole King's heart.
So after the long as fuck transformation sequence, our main characters confront Flame, and she says something about having a task for them, and how it will be harder, and she summons a monster she calls Chester, which is a jester monster. Not the worst design we've seen so far, but it's still not great. Flame fucks off as per usual, and the jester attacks. All he does is wrap up Vanessa and she screams. Seriously, that's another thing with these episodes, is the monsters wrapping up the characters, especially the female ones. It's so fetishy, I can't stand it, mostly because they're teenagers. If these characters were 21 plus, I wouldn't care all that much. But they're children. Can we please stop making softcore porn of children, please? Jesus Christ. Ricky is the one who uses his one attack to free Vanessa, and Azula comes and uses her magic titty crystal powers to banish the monster, and the king gets his heart back.
Well, here I am again. I want a task for you. It will be a bit harder. It will give you a hard game. Chester, come with me.
I'm here. Now I'm showing my own food.
Chester is game with you. Good luck.
We've already seen Jester in the kingdom. I still don't understand how to turn him into a monster.
I also think, at least it's Jester. He even copies his monster plan from a queen.
I'm already catching the joke game. I choose a brunette warrior.
What are you doing, Jester? At least you're not a fool. You want to curse me.
I'll take care of it from Jester. Earthquake, take root.
Oh no. On the metal. Broken.
Ricky, thanks for the help.
At least you're not joke game.
Oh yeah, and that kid that our main characters went off to go get, he offers the king some bread as soon as he wakes up. You know, not like the old man just died or anything. No need to help him up off the ground, just offer him some bread. Bread makes everything okay. Oh god, I forgot about this part. So the kid offers the king and princess bread, and the king says, "This bread is very delicious, and so is the princess." Ew, 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 ew. Don't call your own fucking daughter delicious. That's disgusting. Oh my god.
The court fool pulls a rope for Vanessa, then Ricky saves him.
Your Majesty, I see you are hungry.
The princess, I hope you like the bread.
Thank you for everything, and then Brady gives them food.
This is very delicious, and so is the princess.
Anyways, random kid becomes king. Yay, I guess. And we actually cut back to the Kingdom of Darkness where Wave and Flame are talking. Wave asks Flame if she found the crystal heart, and she says unfortunately not. And we get to see the silhouette of the other villains and get to hear them talk a bit before the episode ends.
Did you find crystal heart?
Unfortunately not. Now I have taken the king's heart. Many people came here in poverty.
There will be someone down there to find you.
What's up? Do you have the crystal heart flame?
Sky, unfortunately there is none. Today I carried the king's heart in it. No.
We're going to do the same, but we will find it below.
We are waiting for our third colleague to come downstairs.
That was unpleasant to say the least. I really wish I had more of the original version of this episode to show you guys because it was so much worse than this. I cannot describe the amount of times Ricky just said out-of-pocket racist shit and how racist the whole episode actually was. I don't really have a whole lot else to say about the episode. It was just bad. The plot for this one episode didn't make sense. The other episodes I could kind of piece together, but this one just didn't really even try to make a coherent plot. It was just random bullshit thrown together. The monster design wasn't the worst, but it definitely could have been better. You could have googled medieval Jester and used an outfit you found that way. Your dude looks like a knockoff version of Jester from Dorothy Return to Oz, that really shitty Legend of Oz movie. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you like my content and want to support me, check out my Ko-fi and my Threadless where I sell shit. Also, check out my other social medias. I have DeviantArt, Instagram, Blue Sky, Artfied, Wattpad, and Unveil. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you are new. I'm gonna go play some video games now. I need a break.